A very good evening. And the drama in the national resistance movement, or is it over the position of the presidency, continues in this country. We started this discussion 3 weeks ago, and a lot of events and a lot of water has passed under the bridge since then. Yesterday, we witnessed a grand welcome for President Yoweri Museveni, who made an announcement that he was firing his Prime Minister and erstwhile number 2 in the NRM structure, Secretary-General Amama Mbabazi, as Prime Minister. On Thursday, the 18th, the President traveled to the United States of America. We were told on a private visit. He made a return yesterday, and he was received to a grand reception. Meanwhile, a day earlier, soldiers commanded by the the commander of the land forces conducted a withdrawal of troops attached to Amama Mbabazi, or soldiers who were guarding him, apparently to replace them with VVIP police. Tonight, to discuss the growing controversy and drama within the ruling party, we have, let me start with Onapito Ekomoloit. On another forum where we appeared together, he's introduced as spokesperson for State House, but he worked at State House before. Now he's Corporate Affairs Director of Nairobi Buaris, SAB Mila. Very nice to have you.
Good evening, viewers.
A veteran journalist, we always say. So
Thank you.
We have Dennis Twahika. Mr. Dennis Twahika is an NRM party mobilizer from Bushenyi. You're most welcome.
Good evening, viewers.
We also have the Minister in charge of mobilization, effective Secretary-General of the party, but people say he's effective Deputy Secretary-General of the party, though appointed, Richard Todwong. Richard, very nice to have you.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers, and thank you for hosting me with my friends here this evening.
And my colleague Chris Obore. Chris, always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, I'm going to start mobilizing for Napito. We want him to be our only leader from Tesi.
The Minister for Mobilization is here, so you need to talk to him.
No, this is now...
You get Chris' statement that we want to start mobilizing for
Napito.
To be their own from Teso.
Yeah.
Teso is not a country within the country.
A tribal leader. The one we send here to negotiate with you. What is wrong with that one?
We shall wait for
He's
him.
capable, veteran journalist, tested. He has been near corridors of power,
And he's
sober.
Those descriptions fit somebody who has just fallen.
And he's related to Imoni.
I want to start with the
Be
Minister.
careful.
You put up a grand fete yesterday to welcome the President, and people have been asking, the President always travels. The last time a major welcome was organized for him, he had apparently been awarded a PhD. So maybe there was some reason to organize a grand reception for him. But were you welcoming him because he fired Amama Mbabazi, as some people have said? The way you welcomed him?
No, Chris, first of all, thank you for that question that I think will set us the pace of this discussion. I need to start by thanking everybody who turned up yesterday to receive our chairman of the party and the President of the Republic of Uganda from his trip. You earlier on said he went on a private visit. No, the President went on a very official trip to the United States. He addressed so many meetings, and he also witnessed the installation of our own foreign minister as the president of the 69th session of the UN General Assembly. Within that same week, we also witnessed and read in the media that 2 of our generals were recognized and by one of the most top war military academy in the US. This were General Katumba Wamala, who is the CDF, and General Aronda. So all these were really good achievements that were worth celebrating. So yes, I need to thank our members of the party, supporters of the party, well-wishers, everybody that mobilized and turned up to Entebbe yesterday to receive our president the way we did, and really I'm so grateful.
When generals are recognized, you welcome the generals, you celebrate the generals. There was nothing.
No, the president is the commander-in-chief. Are you aware of that?
Honorable Todwong, there was nothing yesterday. There was nothing yesterday mentioning that recognition in the fete. Not even in the president's speech. There was nothing yesterday about Sam Kutesa and his ascendance to the UN General Assembly. Actually, that reception was given to Kutesa when he was in Masaka the other time. People celebrated that. So, how do you explain the coincidence?
No, I was the chairman of organizing committee of everything that took place yesterday. And I'm telling you what took place. And even when we did the media briefing a day before, in the press statement we issued out, those were our reasons that came out in the press statements.
How much
So
did it cost the Ugandan
even if you,
taxpayer?
no. By the way, I need to make this also at the beginning very clear that we did not spend any money from anywhere. Members of the party voluntarily went to Entebbe on their own. Members of the party went there and fed themselves. They mobilized themselves. Nobody spent a penny from any organization or from anybody. But each person picked from his pocket.
I want to quote for you from the statement attributed to the president by none other than one of his media people, Sarah Kajingo, shared yesterday. He said, the NRM will not be divided. He said, we will not accept the party to be divided. The elections are in 2016, and we shall see when we get there. And then he quoted a Runyankore proverb. He said, in Runyankore we have a saying, those who hang themselves are not mourned. This doesn't seem to fit into either the climate change agenda for which he was in New York. It doesn't fit into the, where you say Uganda took leadership. It doesn't fit within the recognition of the Ugandan generals. It doesn't fit.
You see, when a president gives a keynote speech or he talks to people, he's at liberty really to speak about any other subject that is beforehand. And indeed, as he was entering the mayor's garden yesterday, there were so many people who were shouting, telling him a lot of things. And even when he was giving his speech, I would hear people talking from the crowd. And I think he was making such statements in response to what others were saying from the crowd. But it wasn't part of his initial address to the crowd. But yes, the NRM party will never be divided, and indeed it will never be divided. We are one, and indeed we are still one. We shall continue to be a force to reckon with. And by the way, for anybody who thinks that anything can divide NRM or can weaken the party, we are getting stronger by the day. Two, it's a fact.
And I'm making that statement in reference to?
It is a fact that even in our cultures, when you hang yourself, you are not. In my culture, actually, you're even caned for hanging yourself.
So who
those are facts.
Who in the NRM has hanged himself or herself?
Well, you might need time to ask the president because he was the one who made the statement.
No,
but I'm just repeating that what is stated are the facts, culturally and socially.
You're just describing that in a very dramatic way. You say you actually even caned first before you.
In my culture, in a Chole culture, before you are buried, you are caned.
You're the minister
if you hang yourself.
You're the minister for mobilization. Your office is at Plot 10 Chadondo Road. Meaning that the Ugandan taxpayer pays you to do party work.
No, the party NRM does not in any way get its money from government to do its work. The money that we get, I am a member of parliament representing my constituency, and I stood on an NRM ticket. So the office, I contribute money to my party monthly. It's deducted from my hand.
No, you didn't understand you didn't understand my question.
Yes,
my
I
question
am a minister. You're saying
you
I
are
am
a minister
yes.
whose ministry sits at the party headquarters. So the party is helping Ugandans to accommodate its minister.
I have my official ministerial office at the office of the president, which is just across the road here, within the Twin Towers. If you come to third floor, you'll find my government office there. And the one at the party, it is the party office, and I go there as a party cadre.
Okay. Dennis, let me turn to you briefly. What is happening in your party?
My NRM political party is under siege. And it is under siege by the likes of the minister. There is, from the time of Changwanzi.
February?
Yes. When my brother and the minister, Todonga, and his group organized a coup against the NRM party, so many ugly developments have come up. I know, of course, it has a history, because after Nambor in 2005, when we elected, 2010, when we elected our NRM leaders, among those was the Deputy Secretary-General and the Secretary-General. Of course, the party chairman was unopposed. there is no one who contested with him, and the vice chairperson. But I remember vigorously campaigning for Honorable Amama Mbabazi as the Secretary-General, and vigorously campaigning for Dorothy Hewer, Madam. Which in my view, after that, a conspiracy could have been hatched to kill the national leadership of the party. I will not actually diverge into the intentions beyond what I can analyze as an NRM member, but what I know, because I don't see the Deputy Secretary-General.
Where is the Deputy Secretary-General?
I don't know. The one whom we elected. The one who is supposed to be seated at Chadondo. When you go there, you find there Todong, and you ask, you man, what are you doing here?
I need to.
I don't know. Wait, I remember in Nambori.
I need to help my brother.
I was the campaign manager, also because my brother Todongo had stood for chairmanship Northern Uganda. I remember you campaigned for him. Yes. I was even the agent on the box of Bushenyi, and he actually won with 80% from Bushenyi because he's our brother. He's the son of Bushenyi. So you don't. I'm actually arguing. You can see. But now when I actually go to Chadondo, and I don't see Dorothy Hewer, I don't see Honorable Amama Mbabazi, I see Honorable Tadongo seated in a place where the Deputy Secretary-General, I don't know whether Hewer failed. They should have told us as members. Hewer, she was elected by the masses of members, but appointed by the pen, without actually considering the interests of those who elected her. Then you will actually find out that the problem now maybe is, and of course, the Secretary-General, there was a resolution in NEC which actually required that when someone is elected the Secretary-General, he shouldn't be given demanding tasks in cabinet. And the president was part of that, of NEC. He knew. But the motive in which the Secretary-General was appointed the Prime Minister, and later a program, a grand plan, a grand conspiracy was actually hatched to remove him from the Secretary-Generalship, sometimes as members, it puzzles the minds of the members.
Okay.
If that was actually the case, why was he appointed the Prime Minister? And then, if now he has been relieved
from being relieved of his
of his, why can't he take charge of Chadondo?
You should tell us. You are
Then
his
why
campaign agent.
why should a minister who was not elected to perform that duty, a minister elected by the executive, of course, as a cadre, is free to visit Chadondo. But why should you take over?
But is this about Todwong and Amama Mbabazi?
No, it is
Or
not.
about the party?
It is
know,
not.
I need
Honorable Todongo is innocent. He is just implementing a coup.
Who's coup?
We shall go into the details.
Let me help my brother here.
Let me bring Ona into this discussion. Ona, you've been traveling and we've been missing you here.
I'm happy that I came back and the airport was still open amidst a coup. But to me, all the happenings, I must give credit to Yoweri Museveni. For one, hate him, like him, I think he's really played this game at its best. Because he's one person who has proved that, and he understands the dynamics of the NRM, that this was a revolutionary movement as described. And ultimately, it's about the leader. Anybody who has power radiates the power of the leader. And in fact, I'm so surprised that people thought Honorable Amama Mbabazi would not fall from his position. Yet, I even remember when the NRM came to power, he was merely the director of external intelligence. He was not even a vice president. So where was his inherent power that could not allow him to have been among the top people in the formation of the government? So I see this as a culmination of the president's ability to control and to manage
So you're not
the
surprised?
party. I'm not surprised.
Mm.
And I actually sympathize with the bitter members of the NRM who unfortunately have always misunderstood the power of individuals within the NRM.
Peter, you served the president, but you also stood on the party ticket. Well, the party hadn't been created then when you represented Amuria in parliament.
Yeah.
Do you think NRM exists as a political party, given the developments that are happening? Because we're having a chat with Dennis before we came in.
I don't think NRM exists as a conventional political party that is based on debate and structures. I think it has always existed based on the strength and charisma of a leader. And everyone else rallies around the leader. So, and that's why President Museveni could actually afford to relieve Amama Mbabazi, leave the country, and have Amama Mbabazi disarmed and is out of the country. That shows you that...
So what's the end game in this? How do you say
look,
the end game?
For me, the end game, there's nothing dramatic that is going to happen in my view. I have seen this happen before, and I think for Amama Mbabazi, he really has to cut his losses. You know?
Chris,
hold on.
Just hold a moment. I'll come to you. Let me bring Chris into the discussion, and then you'll have time to respond. Chris, we've been watching all this drama, and we're struggling to get away from this story and move on to something else, but it keeps renewing itself. Ona raises something interesting. Fire the Prime Minister, who is believed to be very powerful, fly out of the country, leave other people in charge. You don't actually know who is completely in charge, but government is functioning. He gets disarmed, they withdraw. I saw someone carrying the flag. He had a flag at his home, and UPDF soldiers. And some people were asking, Samson Kiseka was Prime Minister. He was relieved of that responsibility. There was no drama about withdrawing who guarded him at that time. Cosmas Adiebo was Prime Minister. He left and there was no drama. Apollo Robin in Sebambi was longest serving Prime Minister, I think 12 years as Prime Minister. He left, nothing. And then you have, after Apollo Sebambi, you have Amama Mbabazi, who served the shortest period of time, but you have to send the chief of the land forces, Leopold Chanda, to disarm him and to remove the soldiers who were there to change guard. And people say the military, armed forces work on command. You know whom you have deployed to guard Todwong. So you said to report back to station, we are sending someone else. What is this drama all about?
This is about the state. There's no drama there. That's how the state manifests its power. You know, internally, the state has got instruments, legitimate instruments of force. That one, you cannot debate about it. And I witnessed that the handover of guards and what was happening there, purposely to be part of history. You know, sometimes books are written with a lot of salt added to them. But this one, I didn't want 20 years down the road someone telling me how they do guards in Mbabazi's house from hearsay. I was there at the gate. I was sent out by the madam. So I saw what happened. I saw the guns. So the soldiers had a dormitory. They picked them out. But honestly speaking, the point is, we have all heard, Charles, severally, that when this people came in 1986, Mbabazi was a convict. So the question I was asking us, how did he transform from a convict to a power? Everybody calls a power now. Outside those who were not convicts, you know that. Some say he was sentenced to death. For whatever reason, I don't know. I wasn't in the bush. So you begin to see, sometimes when we begin assigning power to people, we need to understand the dynamics very well. My concern this evening is not even talk about, we're talking about Mbabazi, but to avoid being taken for a ride, that, you know, this is going to be bloody, like I think Asimire said. Me now is to begin to examining both sides. I can clearly see the NRM house is divided. The cadre is faulting the minister for sitting in Chadondo Road. The minister says legitimately there. So the house is in trouble. What about the people, the neutrals who are observing this? What is it for the ordinary Ugandan about this fallout, if it at all exists? And I want to say, we shouldn't be taken for a ride that today either Museveni is bad, today Mbabazi is bad. Let's examine these people on their own merit. And I've been asking these questions. the fallout we are talking about here is not on ideological differences between the Museveni and Mbabazi. The fallout simply is people have gathered enough. They still want to be in charge of gathering. And I have to tell you, Charles, these people are fighting. If you know who they are, people own islands in this country. Wetlands are being destroyed.
We'll go into that in a moment.
People are fighting.
I need to respond to
We'll go into that in a moment.
People are fighting of big deals. When we talk about international connections.
Chris, we need to be taking the break, and then I'll come to the minister first after the break. But the question, you said Mbabazi was a convict. Convicted by who? Why?
By the bush. Those who came from the bush. The story we are getting, they had convicted him in their own courts, whatever courts they had. So, from a convict to that powerful person, then they must tell us how these people rose to that level.
Honorable Todong, could you just kindly hold it? I'll start with you when we come out of a short commercial break. We'll be right back. You're still watching the Fourth Estate, and we're discussing the NRM. And the minister is saying that they're happy that a powerful NTV and a powerful Fourth Estate is spending 3 weeks consistently discussing developments in the national resistance movement. Looks like everybody else has been shut out. Does the party exist? Doesn't it exist? You have been itching to respond.
No, Charles, hold on, Chris. Hold on. You see, Charles, my friend here, my comrade, was saying that the party is under siege, there is a coup, and all that kind of stuff.
Actually, many people believe the party doesn't exist.
Hold on, I need to tell him that.
Chris calls it manifestations.
Okay, whatever you call it, you can call it by whatever name you love, but there is a party, a very strong party. The chairman of the party had to take a decision at one point or another. By the time I was appointed to coordinate and help, many people thought my appointment was a replacement of the Secretary-General. And the chairman came out open and said, no, the Secretary-General is still the Secretary-General. And I need to repeat, he is still the Secretary-General. The Deputy Secretary-General is still the Deputy Secretary-General. But where were they when the party needed them at the time they needed them? We were faced with by-elections. By-elections were all over Uganda. By the time I came, from that time up to now, I presided over 7 by-elections. Of the 15. Of the 7, we lost 2. I won 5. The 2 that I lost were in Kamuli, for reasons which were obviously known. The other one was in Luero, for reasons that were obviously known. But the others, we managed to win.
You didn't lose Kasese?
No, Kasese, I wasn't appointed by that time. The other thing is, I came to the party. Up to now, we are not sure whether we have a register or not. There are mixed. So why my work, hold on, my work,
hold it. You are a minister of the government of Uganda. The person we are debating, or the persons we are debating, are elected officials of a political party. Why didn't you as a party fire your Secretary-General? And then we could understand and place this in context.
Yes. Now, there are processes towards that. You need a delegates conference, you need a SEC resolution, you need NEC to be briefed. You need a delegates conference to do that because they were elected by the delegates. And holding a delegates conference, this is a very expensive exercise because you need more than 10,000 members of the party in Kampala at Nambole. So it requires resources, it requires money, and then within the time frame, we were faced with, you see, if you study a bit of military science, when you're faced with a battle, the Pan-Africans do say you do many fronts but one struggle. We were faced with the by-elections, one after another,
and my question to you, Todong,
and within that,
my question to you is, why is this party battle being fought in government, not in the party?
Yes. The party's battle is not in government. You remind me of a song that I learned when I was in primary. There is a Christian song. When God talked to Moses and he wanted to send Moses to his people, then Moses was asking, who am I to be sent? God, who am I? And at the end of the day, he says, send me, Lord, I will go. There was a time when somebody...
Todong is saying, who am I, Todong, to be sent? Send me, I will go.
But there was a time in our party that somebody needed to have gone to do some work.
Yes,
But you see-
Because those who were elected either abandoned the
But you see,
party.
Charles-
The secretariat became quiet.
You went there.
Staffs were
Charles,
disappointed.
you went
branches
there.
were
You
not
see-
coordinated.
you see, Charles,
so I had to move
yes,
him.
Chris.
Charles, the fourth estate will not be drawn to fight the pettiness in NRM party.
Good.
I can only discuss NRM party in relation to how to affect this country called Uganda and the people whose resources is being are being plundered. But to go about, you see, in Iteso we say, when you see, when which doctors conflict, be careful even to be an observer. Because each of them will try to show which powers, which medicine is powerful. In the process, the collateral damage will be so much. So you let the witch doctors sort out.
How is it said in Ethesot?
You let them sort out in their shrines, whatever happens. They don't go near the shrine when witch doctors have conflict.
NRM is not a shrine.
So I'm saying it is a saying.
You must be.
Unless people don't understand. That one we can prove who's a witch doctor, who's not. If you want us to discuss. Let's discuss. Todongo obviously represents the Museveni NRM here. This gentleman obviously represents Mbabazi's tendency. This is what we are seeing. So you cannot draw me there. If we are to discuss Museveni and Mbabazi, let it be on how it benefits those who are listening to us. And I want to say, yesterday...
There is no Museveni's NRM, there is no Mbabazi's NRM.
That is your perception.
NRM is always NRM.
There are people who are complaining what was the reception for yesterday. And I've just told you that reception yesterday, some people will say it was paid for by Todongs. No, that reception was a celebration by sections of NRM against Mbabazi about in regard to Mbabazi's sacking. People began mobilizing money. If that is the Secretary-General you have had for that long time, if that's the Prime Minister you have had for that long time, and he is sacked and it's your party which is celebrating.
And he's not yet sacked as Secretary-General.
Yes, it is the party celebrating, by the way, NRM cadres. People were saying maybe government resources. Actually, there's no government money. I know guys who moved begging from door to door begging for money. Just to show Mbabazi that, okay, you are gone. That's how bad it is. The reasons why they are celebrating, maybe they can tell us why they are happy. There was no government money there. I saw, seeing Katongole, the deputy treasurer, was very busy. Yesterday, I saw it. Katongole was very busy in this arrangement, together with Todong, anyway, who is now doing mobilization. So, there are issues that we must address. Charles, the issue is the fallout, whether real or imaginary, between Mbabazi and Museveni should be traced to the management of resources in this country. How have they managed it? Who controls it? If Mbabazi is strong, how did he become strong? If Museveni is wanting to be in power, why does he want to be in power? Those to me are the dynamics.
Only the moment.
Yes.
You see, the organization and even government, these two are bigger than individuals. And these two must be respected. We can't start debating individuals whom we assume or purport to elevate to be stronger than the system.
But Todong, hold on. Charles, hold on. Todong, who took 11 billion from NSSF? The government or individuals?
You know the answer.
No.
Do you want me to answer?
Has NSSF got land title for Temangalo land?
Why don't you answer? Why don't you answer the...
Has NSSF, I'm a worker, my money is saved in NSSF. Since 11 billion was paid out, have with NSSF got land title? Answer me.
Well, those questions definitely.
That is why individuals become important.
No, but Todong, you contradict yourself. You organized a major celebration yesterday for an individual.
No, come on.
To welcome the president, you were welcoming an individual.
Hold on. You see, that celebration was for the president, who is also the chairman of the party. Okay?
Yes.
Members of the party went
Is
all
he an
full.
institution or an individual?
Hold on, went all full to receive the chairman of the party and the president. These members of the party were from all the structures and branches of the party. Okay?
Agreed, but
meaning the party moved to welcome their chairman. Collectively.
I thought the country should have gone to welcome its president. He didn't go to
No,
America
the country should
to do party work. He went to...
Part of those who went to Entebbe yesterday, by the way, some of them don't even support NRM.
Okay. Ona, you wanted to come in.
Look, I think for me, just to make sure that the whole debate about the president
Doesn't get derailed.
and Honorable Mbabazi is not lost, is to understand, to me, the real issue is the obvious question of succession to the president. And this is what is now come to the fore. And I think the president has finally put the last nail in the coffin of the so-called historicals. And now when I see Honorable Todong at the forefront of a new generation of the NRM leadership.
And Susan Abo,
And it's very clear.
former guild president,
And I
Makera,
think,
DP ticket.
to me, in this way, the president is actually being progressive. I mean, I think this country needs to get new, after him, it needs to get a new generation of leaders.
So you are writing off Mbabazi, in other words.
I think he was written off a long time ago. And the president has been very deliberate in evolving the system, which is actually its strength. For example, he has been able, of all the Bush people, to clone himself militarily. You know what I mean? So that the UPDF,
You know, you
the
explain to our
NRA,
viewers what you mean by cloning himself militarily.
I mean, the NRA commanded by him is today evolved into a new generation of UPDF, commanded among others by Brigadier Mhoz, and this is a positive element for the army. And you could see its ability to control the country even when it's not there. So those who worry about what will happen to Uganda if he dropped dead, clearly you can see it's in New York and things are being controlled back home and the country is celebrating.
Dennis, I need to come back to you.
Yes.
Is the NRM as a party divided? Looking at events over the last few weeks, is the party divided? Does the party actually exist?
Okay, I'm coming to that. The party exists. But then there is a problem which actually is cropping up. There is a tendency. We belong to NRM. The reason as why some of us and still are subscribing to NRM is because of that contribution. Under the able leadership of President Museveni, the transformation this country has gone through, especially the political fundamentals reinstated, Uganda is a state. I'm telling you, there is, in the last 28 years, yes, NRM may have registered some weaknesses here and there, as Chris is trying to bring out to the corruption, the other tendencies. But on a greater extent, we are having a state. And these are actually the achievements which we credit President Museveni and NRM for. And I'm coming, Mr. Chair,
for belonging notwithstanding, is the party divided? Does it exist?
I'm coming. Since 1986, from 1986 to 1996, there was a transition. The NRM one underwent a transition. 1996, 2006, another transition. Since the referendum, when we went to multi-party, NRM registered as a party. You know that. Whether it is active, whether it is inactive, the party exists. And I want to tell you, Honorable Todongo is a member of some of those structures. He is actually a member of parliament representing Noya on NRM ticket. I contested in 2010 in NRM primaries, contesting for the flag. And I want to tell you, we still have more aspirations for that. The NRM exists. But where the problem now comes in, it is where the government, after it has failed to implement some of what is supposed to be implemented, has actually turned its inefficiency to the party. Yes, it is a sleeping party, but they don't want that sleeping party to come up. That's where people, the NRM members, elect their Deputy Secretary-General in broad daylight through through competition, because they were Honorable Hua had contested with Honorable Namayanja. If I am to recall, it was a tight competition. Secretary-General, we elected our Secretary-General of the party, and we have membership. We elected our Secretary-General of the party, the Deputy and the Secretary. Honorable Amama Mbabazi contested with Honorable Kahinda Tafiri, former Vice President of Kenya. It was
we all campaigned for them.
We campaigned.
Yes.
You see,
all of a sudden,
wait,
all of a sudden, a certain clique, I will call it a clique.
Led by who?
One of the architects is Honorable Tadong is here, I don't know, but he is really is the commander. And of course, the presentation of my brother is from another angle, which I think is, and I know why he's presenting it. And he's actually right. We are all proud of some of the things that are happening in this country as Ugandans. But I want to tell you, we are really pained by the way, how our party is under siege.
Let me ask you a specific question.
You are mobilizing this as government,
Dennis,
not as NRM party.
Dennis.
Why was Chadondo, actually, why was Chadondo dormant? The Deputy Secretary-General dormant, all the directors dormant, the Secretary-General not anywhere to be seen, but the minister, the mayor minister for mobilization is now everywhere active.
Let me ask a specific question.
That means there was something behind that.
Dennis.
And that's what we are trying to unearth.
This
Dennis,
comrade needs some help.
Whatever, yes, it's because
Dennis.
you are actually,
Dennis.
my party is at the gunpoint.
Can you listen? Can people
I am
talk
listening.
to you?
Dennis, let me ask a specific question. People have been asking,
Yes.
since the sacking of Amama Mbabazi as Prime Minister, what is the plan in the Amama Mbabazi camp? What next?
I want to see Prime Minister Mbabazi going around the country reactivating the
You want
dormant.
Prime Minister or Secretary-General?
The Secretary-General. Sorry, the Secretary-General. Going back to Chadondo, the headquarters of the party, then drawing a plan, a national plan, to go around the country and reactivate our structures, our offices, which others have closed.
Is he going to do that?
I want to see that unless these people...
Is he going to do that?
But then I see actually, I see it not actually happening, because I don't see...
Okay, what is the plan of your Secretary-General? What plan is he making?
I see because of the coup, the police and the RDCs blocking him.
Okay.
I see, because I don't see Chigongo. Chigongo, who is supposed to be the chairman of the disciplinary committee, is not anyway.
Chris wanted to
He's
come
not
in.
anyway.
Minister, let me come to you.
Yes.
I
need to make
before
some
you make this,
clarification.
Forster State should not
There
be
is a
some...
problem down there.
Let's not make Forster
party.
State some district delegates conference for NRM. Let's try to make it a national forum so that it doesn't become delegates from sub-county shouting each other.
Delegates from Unwaya and from Bushel.
Yeah, that is not what we are interested in.
But there are some
You
contradictions
see, the issues here.
which come up.
Yeah, I'm even identifying, Dennis makes points, but again, he identifies constants in his own points. He begins by saying, under the able leadership of President Museveni.
Yes.
A man who's able has ably deposited Todonga there. So why doubt the ableness of the same person?
But
So those are the
also
consistencies.
members of the party.
Now, Charles, this
Museveni is a good
thing
leader.
has
No doubt
this thing
about
needs
that.
this context. Onapito has tickled us, but we don't probe some of these things very further. And I want to probe it further. Let there be no dream among the historicals, those who call them historical, that they can succeed President Museveni. I am seeing opposition to Museveni coming from the younger generation and not the old historicals. In fact, President Museveni, I think, is cleverer than most of his colleagues by actually beginning to ally with the emerging forces, political forces. The young, there are those now registering for the unemployed. That's a problem for Uganda. There are those who have gone to school, the corporates, the demographics have changed. So he's keeping himself relevant to the young people. While all along, his generation wanted power, wanted to access to resources. You remember before Besigye stood, there were meetings in Kampala here. There were meetings in Bugolobi, including the home of the late Wapa, on how to replace Museveni. Besigye did not come out of the blue. Besigye came out to stand on the basis that there were even senior colleagues who believed that it was time to replace Museveni. But when Besigye decided to say, okay, if you are not coming out, let me offer myself, all of these other forces withdrew and allied with Museveni. Besigye has been putting out a lonely voice and say, you guys, I thought we agreed. I'm told even Otafire called him and said, Besigye, we agreed, but who told you it is you? You get it? People change the position. And we began working with Museveni. Besigye was left alone. But he pursued his conviction. So when I see now a fallout and people are saying, you know, now this time Mbabazi is going to give Museveni a run for his money, I am simply seeing it, people are sending Mbabazi to a political guillotine. Because they are unable to read the change in times. While Museveni is becoming relevant, Mbabazi is actually being told, you are now the last man to be hanged. If there is that in NRM, and if it was to be given in terms of kilograms, Mbabazi has got tons of that on him. That is unable to actually bathe with a drum of water and become clean. So the fate of NRM ties with Mbabazi. There's no way he's going to come out and say, I'm going to clean NRM. So NRM will clean itself depending on the new support base, the young people. Maybe that's why the Todongos become relevant. So the Todongs now will have to contend with the other young people, like this Doreen of FDC who are moving. That's where the contest is going to come. For the Museveni generation, forget Charles. Because there's a record. There's a history to it.
Okay.
Tadeo Kanyankole, for instance, came was a good fight. Everybody tells you about Tadeo Kanyankole. Everybody tells you about this guy who's now ambassador. Charlie Gonza even had his own group. They had ambitions. They had nothing. Bidan Sali came out when he was a local government minister, Charles. We were told Bidan Sali has all the infrastructure. The man is the king of local government. And he's a Muganda. And he's very good to people. Museveni is in trouble. Museveni said he's a spock in my wheel. He will get off, the bicycle will continue. Bidan Sali had to beg for treatment from Museveni, not in the past, recently. He even tried PPP, it went off. So that is the difficulty in someone coming to say he's going to challenge Museveni. Mbabazi, for instance, has been living a VVIP life. And I can tell you, Charles, it is very difficult to maintain a VVIP infrastructure in Uganda as an individual. That has been run on the basis of the state. And that structure now trying to bring a symbol that is powerful are still living an illusion that they can have a government opportunity for a tender, a government opportunity for a job. Listen, I listen. This fourth estate, there's listening here.
But you also actually, you attempted to interject.
Please, there's listening here.
Okay,
this is not a delegates conference.
I'm listening.
So if you see that existing, we are going to see, you are going to see Mbabazi being squeezed, because President Museveni, the trap has been used on his people. One, Charles, on each of them, he already has a warrant of arrest kept in the drawer. Yes, it is a matter of when to pull it. Now, if I ask myself, if I were Museveni, you just imagine it. If I were Museveni, Charles, I make a reshuffle, I make Jim Muhwezi Minister of Internal Affairs. I already have what I feel in justice. Okay? I already renewed the contract of my IGP, Kale Kaihura. And there is an Mbabazi who is going to move to the party structures to contest with me. I just sit at home as the cadres do the mopping. That's how bad it is.
Just a quick one before we take a break. Just a moment. The minister here. The minister, before I come to you, Dennis. What is the plan? You said the party was dysfunctional at the time you took over. You've been working. Yesterday was to demonstrate that the party is waking up.
Sure.
It's alive. What is the plan? Is the Secretary-General coming to join you at Chadondo Road?
Oh, was he involved?
Well, I'm happy that Honorable Amama Mbabazi was interviewed at Parliament one time, and he said he's still the Secretary-General. He will continue doing the party work. That was good enough. I really pray that he gets to do the work that he's supposed to be doing adequately. And
did he mobilize yesterday to welcome the president?
Was it part of the organization for yesterday?
No, the organization for the welcome, it was spontaneous from the supporters. But actually, it took only 2 days.
Was he part of that spontaneity?
No, these were from volunteer mobilizers, not from the party structure.
He was not a volunteer?
He didn't volunteer. If he wanted to volunteer, he would have been part of it.
So why can't you be straight and tell us he wasn't part?
The thing is really, I think, yes, NRM, of course, like any other organization, has issues. I wouldn't love to discuss the issues of my party in the media. The right organ of the party definitely will understand this properly and will address some of them. But the surface of it all is that those who were elected to do the work for the party left the party and abandoned the party. And then really, when the party needed them most, they were absent. And that was how some was came in, through the authorization of the chairman of the party to help the party do something. And that is how we have reached where we have reached, really. So if we are being accused for doing that, then I'm not sorry for it. I am a cadre of the party. I have campaigned for this party. I'm a member of the party. I cannot see my party being abandoned when we have wars, so political wars to fight. It is your statement that... So really...
What if the party abandons you?
That is good enough. If the party abandons me, that is good enough. It is your assertion, Todwong... But I cannot do that for my party.
It is your assertion, Todwong, that the Secretary-General, the Deputy Secretary-General, the main vice chairman that you have, abandoned the party.
If the party was functioning, I wouldn't be there.
Let's take a break. Dennis, I'll start with you when I come out of the break. We'll be right back. The depth of the crisis in the ruling national resistance movement can just be seen in the depth of the crisis in managing this discussion, because we thought we'd be able to take it beyond Museveni and Amama Mbabazi and beyond the what Chris calls the pettiness within the NRM party. But let me start with Onapito. Let me come to Onapito before I come to you, Dennis. Ona, the junction at which we are as a country, at which the ruling party is, what does it tell? And I wanted to ask you this question because I thought if you hadn't traveled, we should have had you last week. Did Amama see this coming his way? If he didn't, why? And how does he move forward?
I would be terribly shocked if he didn't see it coming this way. Look, for me, all the historicals who have fallen out with President Museveni, I really have little sympathy for them. Because I think if they don't believe that there is democracy within NRM, they lost this battle in the bush. I don't see anything President Museveni has done which he has not always done. No? He has always believed that when he has to make change, he has to make change. He has always believed that it's not about how long one stays in office, it's what he does in office. So each time they have kept on saying things have changed, I don't believe so. Honorable Amama Mbabazi said Dr. Besigye had jumped the queue. Yet I believe Dr. Besigye was more closer to the president, right from the bush, as his personal doctor. So where was this democracy which...
Where was this proverbial queue?
Yeah, which now... So look, I think, to me, they should just settle down.
But do you think he made a mistake to take 14 years to realize there was no queue? Because he made that statement in 2000, going into the 2001 elections.
Yeah, I think he has made a mistake to think that he could challenge the president on the direction the NRM should take, because he should have known better. He had seen other people make a similar mistake, and I get surprised why they keep on making a similar mistake. Let me ask the question I asked
you before. Let me ask it again.
Yeah.
What do you think, or what should be Mbabazi's next game plan?
Honestly, he should retire from politics. I'm very honest. I think he has done enough, and you need a difference. Some people should just let it go.
Dennis,
Yes.
you said you supported Amama Mbabazi in Nambole, 2010.
Yes.
You still support him, do you?
As a Secretary-General, I do.
As a
But I wanted actually...
As a Secretary-General? Can I ask you a question? You answer my question.
Yes.
As a supporter?
But there is something I wanted to raise.
You're right in a moment. My question to you is there a plan? What next?
The plan. So there is actually, I'm actually coming to your question. Mr. Chris, of course, talked about, I'm not here to defend Honorable Amama Mbabazi. Because actually, how Chris talked about him. But when he was talking, I felt like actually making a statement in respect.
Go ahead.
You may actually, Honorable Chris, Mr. Chris may not see Amama Mbabazi as a cause. But there is a fundamental cause in Amama Mbabazi as our Secretary-General. There is a fundamental cause, and worse, fight for or supporting. So there is a fundamental cause in Amama Mbabazi. I don't mind whether Amama Mbabazi is a cause. That cause is there. Watch the space. Now, wait, I'm coming. Yes,
why don't you share with us?
As a secretary, you see, when you are talking about Amama Mbabazi, there is Amama Mbabazi the person, but there is Amama Mbabazi the Secretary-General of the party. I subscribe to. I cannot see you crossifying him and you think me as a member of the party. Unless I belonged to that, unless I belong to that party by accident. or by some inducements, there is a conviction behind that. So there is a cause. You may see Amama Mbabazi. He may not be a cause as Amama Mbabazi. I don't care. Mr. Onapito, who's saying that he should retire. And yet for you are trying to come out to come up. So I think you are being dishonest there. You are being insincere to honor your friend Honorable Mbabazi.
No, I think yes.
And then why should he retire alone?
Who else should retire?
Why should he retire alone? You are being selective.
You can bring another.
And in a house where all the people are wrong and there is only one person who is right, then philosophers should start writing books. So, this is a situation where we are actually, this is a situation we are confronted with. There is Honorable Amama Mbabazi, the person. You are free to castigate him, but there is Honorable Amama Mbabazi, the Secretary-General of NRM party, where we belong. So, that one, you should trudge carefully. Yes, because it's our party. That's why I'm actually telling my brother, Honorable Todongo, that Secretary-General is our Secretary-General.
No, nobody is disputing that.
Yes.
No, even the
yes.
chairman.
The chairman, M7, is our chairman of the party.
Nobody is disputing that fact.
So, even when you are celebrating, for example, recently, there is a statement which is attributed to Honorable Moses Ali, calling our Secretary General a snake. For him, is he a python? You see, that is where the problem is. You are actually trying to bring the old culture of abusing into our culture. We are a new generation, as this one actually mentioned. So we are really not interested in seeing people making Amama Mbabazi a laughing stock. But there is a Secretary General in Amama Mbabazi who is the voice. So that is really the way, and I supported him.
Thank you, Dennis.
We are firing.
Richard,
yes,
no, I need to ask a specific question.
Maybe we must be firing in the dark, not in the dark.
My brother here is firing in the dark. To me, the fundamental thing is, okay, well, nobody is stopped from harboring ambitions to contest for any post in Uganda, as long as you qualify within the constitutional mandate. Nobody. Okay? When we passed the Chankwanzi resolution to allow the president as a sole candidate, we even came out clearly saying, no, the Chankwanzi resolution has to go through the right party structures for purification, for acceptance.
Why did you pass? Why did you pass?
The reason is
just a moment.
The reason is
why do you pass a fundamental resolution?
Yes.
Outside of the former party structure.
That is why I'm now saying. No. A caucus of parliament, it's recognized in the constitution of the party.
It's not a formal structure of the party.
It is not a formal, but it's a caucus that is recognized in the constitution of the party. Read the NRM constitution well, my brother. Now, one is that within that time, and even up to now, there are a lot of speculations from the media, a lot of stampeding, a lot of chaos, a lot of, I would say, gossiping. And the leadership was quiet. I am a chairman of my constituency as per the party constitution. My members of my constituency were asking me, what is going on? All other members of parliament were being asked by their supporters and party members in their constituency that you people, you're in parliament, what is going on? If this man wants to contest, why can't he come out openly? What is wrong with him coming to contest? So we decided, hold on, we decided at Chankwanzi that no, we need to put an end to this debate. We are just midterm, our mandate in this period that Ugandans gave us. We cannot start now discussing who is coming next, who is replacing the president. No. We have a manifesto to implement up to 2016, then we go for election. This subject will be discussed when we come to that time. But now, let us concentrate on the issues of service delivery. For that reason, our president, our chairman, continue. We shall support you, and let it be so. And I was the first to sign by that, and I still stand by that. Now, two.
Dennis said during the break that you are conducting these things mafia style.
No, I am a leader. I am an elected leader. The party constitution empowers me. I am the chairman of my constituency for the party. So I chair party meetings in my constituency.
Let me
so I am not a mafia.
Let me ask a quick specific question before I go to Chris. Have you had word with Amama Mbabazi since he was relieved of his government job as Prime Minister to concentrate on servicing his constituency, Chinchizi West, and also to service the party as Secretary General?
Many things are happening within a short time, and then definitely we still have time to meet, and I intend to meet.
You haven't talked to him yet?
No.
Is he welcome to plot 10 Chadondo Road?
He has always been welcome. That is
Does he have an
open
office
place.
at Plot 10 Chadondo Road?
Unfortunately, he has his office at Plot 18, Lumumba Avenue.
Is Plot 18 Lumumba Avenue a party office?
That I don't know.
But
What I know,
the
the party office is Plot 10 Chadondo Road.
Does he have an office at the party headquarters or not?
There is an office for the Secretary-General. There is an office for the Vice Chairman of the party. There are offices there. And that office, him as the Secretary-General has never occupied. But there is an office for the Deputy Secretary-General that she was using, Dorothy Hiwa was using that office until such a time also that she left the office. So we are all puzzled. So why have these abandoned their offices in this area?
But
the national vice chair is always
why
in
do you
that
want to
place.
leave those answers to myself and Chris to speculate in the media? Why don't you tell us?
That is
why don't you share with
I
Ugandans?
say there are issues that are internal.
Why don't you share with Ugandans why the Deputy Secretary-General and the Secretary-General abandoned their offices at the party headquarters?
They should be the ones to explain. I don't know why they abandoned it. I can't answer that question
Chris,
for them.
Yes.
do you think that is something we as the media can be expected to answer when the man who is implementing and reviving the party can't tell us why the elected officials abandoned their offices?
That's why I'm scared of us taking politicians by their statements. And I want to start by saying I am critical of Amama Mbabazi because of his participation in the governance of this country. So I am not critical of him because I dislike him. And why am I critical? I have been an advocate consistently of good governance principles. Transparency, accountability, and participation. So if I do not hold Mbabazi accountable because he has fallen out with President Museveni, then I never believed in accountability. Today, Togong is singing a song. And tomorrow, when Museveni sacks him, we say, it is Museveni wrong, not Todong. He deserves to be reminded that you were with Museveni. That's why I depart with many people. Now, when you become critical of Mbabazi, they say you don't like him. But, Charles, the basis of my debates always is we need to separate value claims from verifiable facts. I can make any claim about how powerful Mbabazi is. He's a smart man. He's a guy who needs things together. He's a composed fellow. He has maintained a demeanor. Those are all of value claims. Verifiable facts. When he was a smart fellow, what happened in northern Uganda resources? When he was a smart fellow, what happened to election with Garuga Musinguzi? When he was a smart fellow, what happened to government contracts? So these are facts we can verify. So you can make your value claims, but for me I'm focused on these facts you can verify. And that's why I'm making a statement that what you see as a fallout in NRM is actually a failure on the sharing table. That these people in government transact business through contracts, deals, alliances, these kind of alliances. Now, maybe there's now a feeling by Mbabazi group that they are not getting what they should be getting. So if they fail to get what they should be getting, it becomes political. Then you come to a gullible population and say, oh, this is what we want. Because I cannot be convinced by anybody, even those who support Mbabazi, that Mbabazi has any particular ideological difference with Museveni.
Okay,
on what they want to do for this country.
Let's move the discussion forward.
I don't see that.
They are political actors. Do you think Mbabazi has a game plan? Because we're discussing with Dennis earlier, and very many people, especially supporters, say he had penetrated the party structures to the grassroots and has infrastructure that can enable him surmount the challenge presented to him by who is now obviously a rival in President Museveni.
For me, my work is to analyze whether he has infrastructure or not. When we talk about infrastructure, who is an NRM member? Do you know?
Todwong.
When does one stop being an NRM member? So I hear people say infrastructure. First of all, if the party existed, it is crying for a register. There is no register. So what party are you talking about? And even if you held a register today, the city stop another register from being made.
Okay.
So you cannot, in fact, let's help understanding of these political actions as things that happened before, then they brought on the fore. NRM membership cannot be determined by Todwong. Even because you can't determine. because it is a matter of saying tomorrow we are registering members. They can even, NRM is a government of ghosts. They can even create ghost NRM members. So what I talk about infrastructure?
No.
Okay.
What I talk about infrastructure?
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
You also...
I can verify that.
Let me come to you.
These are verifiable facts.
You just said that events have been unfolding rather too fast.
Out of hatred. That's not the reality.
What is the end game plan here?
Well, definitely there are issues that the leadership of the party should address. This is the junction that hard questions must be asked and serious answers must be given. Because
like
you see, we don't need to dilly-dallying about this. We are talking about an organization. We are talking about leadership. We are talking about members who are eager to hear from the party leadership. So definitely, I'm sure the president will come out and explain why.
The president or the party chairman?
Because no. It was pretty clear.
Some people have to get out.
Yes. So definitely, and then because you see, we cannot now dilly-dallying. So and then Honorable Amama Mbabazi will have to explain: is he preparing himself for a presidential contest, or is he being wrongfully accused? But whichever the case, really.
I'm surprised that you say preparing for a presidential contention would be wrongly accused.
It is not, because you see, the media has picked that and they are using it as a reason as to why it's being dropped, which is not the case.
Are you going to have him...
How many people have contested with the president?
Are you also going to have him removed from being Secretary-General?
No, because you see...
No, as a party now.
Depends on what the party wants.
I think that's what they are planning.
It is not about
because his failures are not of his service in government, but his service in the party.
Charles, you remember, even becoming Secretary-General, these are verifiable facts. It took the intervention of Museveni in Nambole for Mbabazi to become Secretary-General.
Okay. We have discussed that before. Dennis, your last word, because we need to get out of here.
I really want to call upon the NRM members, the NRM membership, from the top to the bottom, to be part of this discussion, and in a sober way, because NRM is our party.
Okay.
And we love it most. We love our chairman, we love our Secretary-General, and we love our ministers. We have no problem. But we shouldn't be seen, we should not want to see a certain group targeting or in the name of...
Okay, let me one last question to you, Dennis. If you had one message for your party chairman, President Yoweri Museveni, and one question for your party Secretary-General, Amama Mbabazi, what would you tell them? Each. For President Museveni, one, and for Amama Mbabazi.
In the interest of the party, I really need to see them on table discussing as one.
Thank you. Your last word,
I repeat my question that the part of Uganda's political problem historically has been this life and death approach to politics. I think people should be honorable enough to realize at point X it's not tenable, and they should live normal life, leave the stage. It's important.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry.
My message
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
No historical can claim to overturn Museveni.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
And we thank the president for providing leadership where leadership really is needed most.
If you want to change NRM, contend with this young
no,
ones.
if he has failed to manage a functional party as chairman, the secretaries-general don't work, and deputies don't work. I don't know what leadership you're thanking him for.
That is why he's managing. That is why he's managing.
Thank you very much to you, all our viewers, for joining us tonight. Thank you very much to you, gentlemen.
I hope
that join us again next Sunday for yet another exciting discussion right here on the Fourth Estate. Have a good night.
Dennis, I didn't...